Morning, welcome to Colin's Reading Aloud Project Part 75, another 1,000 words starting now. Detachers, detaches, detaching, detachment, detachments, detail, detailed, detailedly, detailedness, detailednesses, detailer, detailers, detailing, detailings, details, detain, detainable, detained, detainee, detainees, detainer, detainers, detaining, detainment, detainments, detains, detangle, detangled, detangler, detanglers, detangles, detangling, detassel, detasseled, detasseling, detasseled, detasseling, detassels, detect, detectabilities, detectability, detectable, detected, detector, detectors, detectable, detecting, detection, detections, detective, detective-like, detectives, detectivist, detectivists, detectophone, detectophones, detector, detectorist, detectorists, detectors, detects, detent, detente, detentes, detention, detentions, detentist, detentists, detents, detenue, detenue, detenues, detenues, deter, deterge, deterged, detergents, detergents, detergencies, detergency, detergent, detergents, deterger, detergers, deterges, deterging, deteriorate, deteriorated, deteriorates, deteriorating, deterioration, deteriorations, deteriorative, deteriorism, deteriorisms, deteriorities, deteriority, determent, determents, determinability, determinable, determinably, determinacies, determinacy, determinant, determinantal, determinants, determinate, determinated, determinately, determinateness, determinates, determinating, determination, determinations, determinative, determinatively, determinatives, determinator, determinators, determine, determined, determinedly, determineness, determiner, determiners, determines, determining, determinism, determinisms, determinist, deterministic, determinists, deterrabilities, deterrability, deterrable, deterred, deterrence, deterrences, deterrent, deterrent, deterrently, deterrence, deterrer, deterrers, deterring, deters, detersion, detersions, detersive, detersives, detest, detestabilities, detestability, detestable, detestableness, detestably, detestation, detestations, detested, detester, detesters, detesting, detests, dethatch, thatched, dethatches, dethatching, dethrone, dethroned, dethronement, dethronements, dethroner, dethroners, dethrones, dethroning, dethronings, dethronize, dethronized, dethronizes, dethronizing, dethronize, dethronized, dethronizes, dethronizing, detick, deticked, deticker, detickers, deticking, deticks, detinue, detinues, detonabilities, detonability, detonable, detonate, detonatable, detonate, detonated, detonates, detonating, detonation, detonations, detonative, detonator, detonators, detortion, detortions, detort, detorted, detorting, detortion, detortions, detorts, detour, detoured, detouring, detours, detox, detoxed, detoxes, detoxicant, detoxicants, detoxicate, detoxicated, detoxicates, detoxicating, detoxication, detoxications, detoxification, detoxifications, detoxified, detoxifies, detoxify, detoxifying, detoxing, detract, detracted, detracting, detractingly, detractings, detraction, detractions, detractive, detractively, detractor, detractors, detractory, detractress, detractresses, detracts, detrain, detrained, detraining, detrainment, detrainments, detrains, detrack, detrache, detraches, detracts, detribalization, detribalize, detribalized, detribalizes, detribalizing, detribalization, detribalize, detribalized, detribalizes, detribalizing, detriment, detrimental, detrimentally, detrimentals, detriments, detrital, detrition, detritions, detritovore, detritovores, detritus, detrude, detruded, detrudes, detruding, detruncate, detruncated, detruncates, detruncating, detruncation, detrunctions, detrusion, detrusions, detrusor, detrusors, detumescence, detumescences, detumescent, detune, detuned, detunes, detuning, deuce, deuced, deucedly, deuces, deucing, deodan, deodans, deus, deuteragonist, deuteragonists, deuteranomalies, deuteranomalous, deuteranomaly, deuteranope, deuteranopes, deuteranopia, deuteranopias, deuteranopic, deuterate, deuterated, deuterates, deuterating, deuteration, deuterations, deuteric, deuteride, deuterides, deuterium, deuteriums, deuterogamies, deuterogomist, deuterogamists, deuterogamy, deuteron, deuterons, deuteroplasm, deuteroplasms, deuteroscopic, deuteroscopies, deuteroscopy, deuterostome, deuterostomes, deuterotochies, deuterotoky, deuton, deutons, deutoplasm, deutoplasmic, deutoplasms, deutoplastic, deutzia, deutzias, dev, diva, deval, devaled, devaling, devals, devalorization, devalorizations, devalorize, devalorized, devalorizes, devalorizing, devalorization, devalorizations, devalorize, devalorized, devalorizes, devalorizing, devaluate, devaluated, devaluates, devaluating, devaluation, devaluations, devalue, devalued, devalues, devaluing, Devanagari, Devanagaris, Devas, devastate, devastated, devastates, devastating, devastatingly, devastation, devastations, devastative, devastator, devastators, devastavit, devastavits, devane, devaned, devaning, devanes, devil, devilled, deviling, deviled, deviling, develop, developable, develop, developed, developer, developers, develops, developing, developments, developmental, developmentally, developments, develop, develops, develops, devils, deverbal, deverbals, deverbative, deverbatives, devest, divested, divesting, divests, devi, deviants, deviances, deviancies, deviancy, deviant, deviants, deviate, deviated, deviates, deviation, deviating, deviation, deviationism, deviationisms, deviationist, deviationists, deviations, deviative, deviator, deviators, deviatory, device, deviceful, devices, devil, devilldom, devildoms, deviled, devilless, devilesses, devilet, devilets, devilfish, devilfishes, deviling, devilings, devilish, devilishly, devilishness, devilishnesses, devilism, devilisms, devilkin, devilkins, devilled, deviling, devilment, devilments, devilries, devilry, devils, devilship, devilships, deviltrees, deviltree, devilwood, devilwoods, devious, deviously, deviousness, deviousnesses, devies, devisable, devisal, devisals, devise, devised, devisee, devisees, deviser, devisers, devises, devising, devisor, devisors, devitalization, devitalizations, devitalize, devitalized, devitalizes, devitalizing, devitalization, devitalizations, devitalize, devitalized, devitalizes, devitalizing, devitrification, devitrified, devitrifies, devitrify, devitrifying, deviling, devilings, devo, devocalize, devocalized, devocalizes, devocalizing, devocalize, devocalized, devocalizes, devocalizing, devoice, devoiced, devoices, devoicing, devoicings, devoid, devoir, devoirs, devolution, devolutionary, devolutionist, devolutionists, devolutions, devolve, devolved, devolvement, devolvements, devolves, devolving, Devon, Devonian, Devonport, Devonports, Devons, devore, devores, devos, devot, devote, devoted, devotedly, devotedness, devotednesses, devotee, devotees, devotement, devotements, devotes, devoting, devotion, devotional, devotionalist, devotionalists, devotionalities, devotionality, devotionally, devotionalness, devotionals, devotionist, devotionists, devotions, devots, devour, devoured, devourer, devourers, devouring, devouringly, devourment, devourments, devours, devout, devouter, devoutest, devoutly, devoutness, devoutnesses, devs, devil, devilled, deviling, devils, dew, dewan, dewani, dewanis, dewanis, dewani, dewans, dewar, dewars, dewater, dewatered, dewaterer, dewaterers, dewatering, dewaterings, dewaters, dewax, dewaxed, dewaxes, dewaxing, dewberries, dewberry, dewclaw, dewclawed, dewclaws, dewdrop, dewdrops, dewed, dewfall, dewfalls, dewful, dewier, dewiest, dewily, dewiness, dewinesses, dewing, dewit, dewitted, dewitting, dewits, dewlap, dewlapped, dewlaps, dewlapped, dewless, dewool, dewalled, dewooling, dewools, deworm, dewormed, dewormer, dewormers, deworming, deworms, dewpoint, dewpoints, dews, dewy, dex, dexamethasone, dexamethasones, dexamphetamine, dexamphetamines, dexes, dexy, dexies, dexiotropic, dexter, dexterities, dexterity, dexterous, dexterously, dexterousness, dexterousnesses, dexters, dexterwise, dextral, dextralities, dextrality, dextrally, dextrals, dextran, dextranase, dextranases, dextrans, dextrin, dextrine, dextrines, dextrins, dextro, dextrocardia, dextrocardiac, dextrocardiacs, dextrocardias, dextroglucose, dextroglucoses, dextrogyrate, dextrogyre, dextrorotary, dextrorotation, dextrorotations, dextrorotatory, dextrorsal, dextrors, dextrorsely, dextrose, dextroses, dexterous, dexterously, dexterousness, dexterousnesses, dexy, day, days, dezinc, dezinced, dezinking, dezinced, dezinking, dezinks, dac, dax, dal, dal, dammer, dammers, dansack, dansacks, dharma, dharmas, dharmic, dharmasala, dharmsala, dharmsalas, dharmshala, dharmshalas, dana, danas, dicker, dickers, dimmy, dimmies, doby, dobies, dol, dolac, dolacs, dole, doles, dol, doles, doles, doolies, dooley, doura, douras, duty, duties, duty, duties, duties, doty, doties, dura, duras, dow, dows, durna, durners, durra, durras, durry, durries, duty, duty, duties, Diana, Dianas, diabase, diabases, diabasic, diabetes, diabetic, diabetical, diabetics, diabetogenic, diabetologist, diabetologists, diable, diablary, diableries, diablary, diabols, diabolic, diabolical, diabolically, diabolicalness, diabolized, diabolized, diabolizes, diabolizing, diabolism, diabolisms, diabolist, diabolists, diabolized, diabolized, diabolizes, diabolizing, diabolo, diabologies, diabology, diabolologies, diabolology, diabolos, diacatholicon, diacatholicons, diacaustic, diacaustics, diacetyl, diacetils, diachronic, diachronically, diachronies, diachronism, diachronisms, diachronistic, diachronous, diachrony, diachylon, diachylons, diachylum, diachylums, diacid, diacidic, diacids, diacodion, diacodions, diacodium, diacodiums, diaconal, diaconate, diaconates, diaconicon, diaconicons, diacoustic, diacoustics, diacritic, diacritical, diacritically, diacritics, diact, diactinal, diactine, diactines, diactinic, diactinism, diactinisms, diacts, diadelphus, diadem, diademed, diademing, diadems, diadochi, diadoches, diadochi, diadrom, diadromus, diadroms, diaereses, diaeresis, diaeretic, diagenesis, diagenesis, diagenetic, diagenetically, diageotropic, diageotropism, diageotropisms, diaglyphs, diagnosability, diagnosable, diagnosable, diagnosed, diagnoses, diagnosing, diagnosis, diagnostic, diagnostical, diagnostically, diagnostician, diagnosticians, diagnostics, diagometer, diagometers, diagonal, diagonizable, diagonization, diagonalizable, diagonalization, diagonalize, diagonalized, diagonalizes, diagonalizing, diagonalizable, diagonalization, diagonalize, diagonalized, diagonalizes, diagonalizing, diagonally, diagonals, diagram, diagrammed, diagramming, diagrammable, diagrammatic, diagrammatical, diagrammed, diagramming, diagrams, diagraph, diagraphic, diagraphs, diagrid, diagrids, diaheliotropic, diaheliotropism, diakinesis, diakinesis, dialect, dialectal, dialectally, dialectic, dialectical, dialectically, dialectician, dialecticians, dialecticism, dialecticisms, dialectics, dialectological, dialectologies, dialectologist, dialectologists, dialectology, dialects, dialed, dialer, dialers, dialing, dialings, dialist, dialists, dialage, dialages, dialogic, dialogoid, dialed, dialel, dialels, dialer, dialers, dialing, dialings, dialist, dialists, dialogue, dialogued, dialoger, dialoggers, dialogic, dialogical, dialogically, dialoguing, dialogize, dialogized, dialogizes, dialogizing, dialogism, dialogisms, dialogist, dialogistic, dialogistical, dialogists, dialogite, dialogites, dialogize, dialogized, dialogizes, dialogizing, dialogues, dialogue, dialogued. And in the middle of all those dialogues, that's the 1000th, so I'll stop there and I'll see you tomorrow.